Hi there, Coach Ian from Gym Wolf PT. I'm delighted to have you here for this video event today. Are you busy, stressed, and over 40? I'm definitely over 40. I am definitely busy, and I have been stressed, and sometimes still am. And what we're going to talk about today is some health and fitness fundamentals that I think you need to have in place. You might already have some of them in place, you may have them all in place. I doubt that, but you may have, or you may just have a couple of them. By the end of this, I'm hoping you'll have got a list of things that you can add into your daily lifestyle that's going to make a big difference. Just before we get started, please note this is a pre-recorded event. I've got a really busy day with clients today, so I couldn't get it in at the right time. So this is pre-recorded. Our next one will be live. So without further ado, let's move on and discuss how we can put some fitness fundamentals in place to benefit you, not just now, but for months, years going forward. First off, when it comes to health and fitness, it's important that it's convenient for you. And this is particularly the case if you, like I say, you're busy, you're somewhat stressed, you've got a lot on your plate. Fitness and health shouldn't be something that you've got that to do as well. It should be something that slots in and makes your life easier and better. Definitely in the long term, because you do these things, you're going to have more energy, you're going to feel better, you're going to feel stronger, you're going to feel like you're pushing forward more. So definitely long term, but even in the short term, it's not feasible for many people just to change their lifestyle completely to fit health and fitness. So the health and fitness has to fit to their lifestyle. And what I mean by that is, with health and fitness, you'll hear me say this all the time, consistency is the key. What I mean by that is, I work with people sometimes and I'll say, right, feasibly, how many times can you work out a week? And someone will say, I can do 7, I can do whatever you tell me. And then I wouldn't have them do 7, but as we go along, suddenly, some weeks they're doing 3 workouts, some weeks they might be doing 5, some weeks they're doing 4, some weeks they're doing 2. Consistency is a powerful thing. And if someone can do 3 workouts and commit to them, I'd rather that than someone say, I can do 5 workouts and sometimes do 5, sometimes do 6, sometimes do 2. Doing the right amount and growing from there is really powerful. Another thing with consistency and convenience is, a lot of people say, oh, I'd love to work out, but I can't go to a gym. Yes, gyms are brilliant. They've got a lot of equipment and they are doing that. I love gym environments. But if it's not convenient for you, so say, for example, you don't live near a gym, or the traffic's bad near that gym, or your lifestyle is that you've got family or commitments that mean you can't get to the gym, then the gym's not the right place for you to work out. It has to be convenient. And some people say, oh, I've got this gym and it's brilliant in our city, but it's 40 minutes away. Do not join that gym. If that gym is 40 minutes ago and you're trying to build up consistency, that is not the one. So you've got to do what is convenient for you. And if that means working outside or working out in your home or on your travels, then that's what you should do. It's about fitting it to what works for you. And again, not just where you work out, but the activities that you do. Whilst we're going to go on a bit about weight training, still there's different things that can fit you. So if you like dancing, you could do some sort of dancing related exercise. If you like walking or running, that should be added into your routine. So fit it around the activities that work for you. Again, I work with busy, high profile people who work out in their office. They own companies and they have an office and they work out in there. It is about fitting it into what works for you. And again, a lot of people say to me, how long should I work out, Ian? How long? Well, doing 2-3 minute workouts, well, it's better than nothing. I'm not going to go down the route that some PTs are, yeah, that's all you have to do, 2 minutes a day or 3 minutes a day, and that's it. When you're working out properly, you'll be putting in a short warm up, a cool down, because they reduce the risk of injury. So they should take a number of minutes. But having said that, 20 to 30 minutes if doing a high intensity workout is sufficient. I would never say you would have to train for more than an hour. And you do see a lot of people in gyms who are in there for 1.5 hours, 2 hours, even 3 hours. I guarantee you they are not working out for the majority of that time. They are not timing the rest times, and probably a lot of it is talking time. So there's no reason you should ever have to work out for more than an hour. But if only 20 minutes, 30 minutes is what you can spare, then if you're doing the right workout at the right intensity with the right rest times, that's plenty. It really is. And again, I sort of mentioned this before. We're all about gaining consistency. So if you travel a lot or you're in the office a lot, we might have to fit the workouts to that. It's not a case of, oh, I'm in the office, so I can't do anything. There's things you can do. So again, convenience is absolutely key, because if you put something in place, a lot of people do this, they start up a fitness journey with big intentions, big plans. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can train this many times. Yes, I'm going to buy all the best equipment. Yes, I'm joining the best gym. Yes, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And they start it, and 2 weeks in, it suddenly goes, wow, I can't do this. So I'd rather people say, this is where I am. This is what I can feasibly do at this point, and start from there. And if you progress to doing longer, more in the future, that's great. But if not, you can just step up the intensity. There's lots of things, but like I said, it has to be convenient. So that's the first thing I want you to look at. Second, a big one, nutrition and protein. Nutrition, there's no doubting, for the majority of people's goals, the nutrition side is the biggest part. And unfortunately, it's where people struggle in terms of sticking to things, but also in terms of knowledge. And unfortunately, there's a lot of fitness professionals and personal trainers and people in the industry who really have not the best knowledge of nutrition, and they're telling people about nutrition. But there's fundamentals that you need to put in place, and if you do, you'll see massive benefits. So quickly go over this. Balanced diet is important. What do I mean by balance? You want to be getting an array of foods in your body that give you the different macros and micronutrients. And the balance, how balanced this is, again, somewhat is determined by your goals. But for me, anyone who's doing something long term, they don't want to go to extremes. So what do I mean by an extreme? The keto diet is an extreme. And there's a lot of people who are big fans of keto. I mean, I've done it in the past. It's something that short term may have its place. I think I have better methods, but it has its place. But it's not a long-term thing, because keto, if you're doing it properly, where you are going to practically zero carbs, some people say zero, that is pretty much impossible, but very, very low, to put your body into a state of ketosis, that is something that is difficult to do for any length of time. And it's very restrictive. And a lot of people tell me they're doing keto, then I see them out at weekends drinking. Well, if you're drinking, you're not doing keto. Because if you're doing keto, you are having no bread, pasta, rice. You're not having any processed food, really. You're not having any chocolate, sweets, cakes, biscuits, pies. You're not having any fruit whatsoever, which is the one that some people go, I eat lots of fruit. And you're not having any alcohol. So keto diet is like, wow, take all that out of most people's nutrition or diet. Two things happen. One, they say, I'm eating a lot less calories because, well, what is there to eat? And then the second thing is they look and say, what is there to eat? Well, they can have chicken breast, turkey breast, fish, eggs, nuts, beans, pulses, lentils, things that are high in protein. So rather than it being a zero carbs diet, maybe it's just a high protein diet. But for me, like I said, that's not a long-term solution. It might have its place short-term. For me, the focusing on balance, and that moves us on to what I'm just saying about protein. So protein. Why is protein important? And this is a question I ask people, and it's not a trick question. Protein is important for a number of reasons. Most people have an understanding of one of the reasons, and that is for muscle recovery, muscle build. Obviously, whenever we do any sort of exercise, we are tearing the muscle, and that muscle needs to recover and repair. And that is whether we want it to be bigger, leaner, stronger, more powerful. That is determining on how hard we train it and how much protein we give it. That is, so out of the three macros, carbs, fats, and protein, protein is the only macro that is sent actively to the muscles to repair, grow, whatever we want it to do. So protein is important for that. And again, quite a lot of people have a sort of an understanding of that. Probably the reason being it's marketed more than anything else. If you go into any supermarket now, you look at baked beans, high in protein. You look at Weetabix, high in protein Weetabix. They're all trying to sell it from a muscle build recovery perspective. But there's two other things where protein really is important. The second one is to do with energy. And most people associate energy with carbs because carbs, when you think of it in easy terms, sugar, and that can be processed carbs in the form of chocolate, sweets, anything like that, or it could be natural in the form of fruits. And that does give you energy because 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories. Likewise, 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. So they have the same amount of energy. The difference is in how they are released. Carbs tend to act a little bit like caffeine. They give you a spike and then you get a dip and then you reach for more carbs. And most people's days in terms of energy are like this: up, down, up, down, up, down. Comes to the end of the night, people are feeling shattered after a day. What do they reach for? They reach for carbs in the form of junk food and sometimes alcohol. Get a spike, they can't sleep. Protein is different. Protein has the same amount of energy as carbs, like I just said, but the way it's released is different. It's more consistent. So if you're having something protein based in the morning, something protein based mid-morning, something protein based in the afternoon, for your lunch, for your evening meal, rather than your energy being up and down like this, it's more likely to be a lot more consistent. Some people call that, they say, oh, protein keeps you fuller for longer. That's not actually the case. We're often mistaking lacking of energy or wanting energy as hunger. It's more about energy consistency. But if you get, like I say, consistent protein throughout the day, your energy level will be more consistent and better. And that's how we work best. We don't want to be on up and down like this all day long. We want to have constant energy that's slowly declining as the day goes on. And then at night time, we're ready to do what we should naturally do, which is sleep. So that's why, that's the second thing why protein is important. And the third one, again, is something that a lot of people don't know. Protein is best for fat loss. And in simple terms, I'll not go into too much detail in this, but every time we eat carbs and fats, they go into the body. The food has to be broken down to release the macro of carbs and fats, but the macro is then released into the body. So, for example, say I have 2,500 calories of carbs and fats. They go into the body, the food's broke down, and they are released. So that's 2,500 calories in my body. If I don't use those calories up in a certain length of time, and in fitness we tend to say 24 hours, it's not quite as straightforward, that's not someone with a little stopwatch time in it, but it's roughly a day cycle. If we don't use them up, they will store. And they will store, unfortunately, and some people, oh, it's just me, but no, everyone, they will store around the midriff area, the stomach, the top of the thighs, the backside, but mainly the stomach area. Protein is different. If I take, say, 2,500 calories of protein in, the food has to be broken down but then the macro of protein has to be broken down as well. And this burns calories. So this is where things like metabolism come into play, age, sex, size come into play. If you've got an overactive or underactive thyroid, all these things come into play. But the truth of the matter is, the calories can't stay the same and they can't go up. They go down. How much they go down is determined by a number of factors, but there's a win there. So, say 2,500 calories in my body, it might be 2,400, 2,450. There's a win there. And then the other thing is the protein, the body is actively trying to push the protein to the muscles around the body. So it's not trying to store it, it's not trying to keep it there. And this is a powerful thing. And like I say, it's often overlooked. And like I say, when people do things like keto and all these different diets, they often look at, yes, it's getting in a state of ketosis and having zero carbs. That's the reason why I'm losing weight or losing fat. No, it's because by going to zero carbs, you push towards high protein, which is going to have this effect on you. Then now people say, well, how much protein cut should I have? And this is quite a debate, really, because I mean, people go on things like MyFitnessPal, and there's ready-made settings there that says 20% protein. And I know why they do this. They do this because it's difficult to get a lot of protein in you, because there's not a lot of foods around that have protein in. You know, if I went into a supermarket and someone said, Ian, point out everything that's got carbs in or is high percentage of carbs, I'd be like, everywhere. Fats to a similar degree, not as much as carbs, but there'd still be a lot of products. Someone asked me to point out all the foods or whatever things in the supermarket that are highest in protein. I'd be going around an hour going, that one, that one, that one, because there's not that much. There's really only, in terms of food, lean meats. So chicken and turkey breast being the best. Most fish, things like mackerel, salmon, whitefish, tuna. Eggs, so the egg white is pure protein, pretty much, with a few macros in there. The egg yolk is pretty much pure fat. Beans, lentils, nuts all have some protein in, but obviously have other levels of fat and stuff, and they're not the same. So a chicken breast is very high in protein, a little bit of fat, and not much else. Nuts, for example, have some protein in, quite a lot of fat. So it's not just a case of saying, all right, I'll just eat loads of nuts. It's because your calories are going to jump up and your fats are going to jump up. So, yeah, that's why it's difficult to get the right amount of protein in. And particularly if you're vegan or vegetarian, it becomes harder because you suddenly can't have the meats and fish and eggs if you're vegan. Things like tofu, things like corn do have a certain amount of protein in, but again, not as much as the lean meats. And that's where supplements sometimes need to come into play. And a lot of people ask me about supplements and say, Ian, do I need them? Do I need supplements? And the answer is no. But from a convenience perspective, they play a part. I'll usually have 2, maybe 3 protein, whey protein shakes a day. The reason is convenience. I don't want to take a chicken breast or an omelette or a fish to the gym. I'd probably get banned if I took fish. So I don't want to take that. So a supplement like a quick powder that I add water to shake and gives me 30 to 35 grams of protein works for me. But you can get it from food. Like I say though, if you're vegan or vegetarian, it does become harder. And then particularly if you're trying to get to the levels which I believe you should be trying to get at. And what are those levels? Well, there's not a straightforward formula, but I would say anything from 1.2 to 2 grams of protein per kg of body weight. But if you can get higher, then that to me is a good thing. Where this can be negative is somebody will say, well, your body can't take so much protein. You're right to that degree that if you try to have 5 chicken breasts all in one, your body will not take all that protein in and it'll get rid of waste. it'll take so much in, it'll take it to its threshold, and then it'll get rid of the rest in waste. If you do that too often, you could damage your organs. So, but if you're having small amounts of protein regularly throughout the day, then it becomes less of an issue. And again, this is extreme. I know guys who are having 80 egg whites a day. I'm not saying do that, but just to show you what can be had in terms of protein. But if you work to the principle of anything from 1.2 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram body weight, you'll not be too far off. If you can get higher, brilliant, but that'd be a good starting point. Mention meal time, sort of. That again is critical when it comes to protein. You cannot just load up on all your protein at the start of the day and then not have any more. One, your body won't take it in, it'll just get rid of it as waste. And two, you want to be giving yourself consistent energy throughout the day. So meal timings, again, I know some people do intermittent fasting, things like that. It has to be convenient for you, but ideally spread things across time as much as possible. Try not to eat massive amounts and then nothing for long periods of time. That's my suggestion. And yeah, eat throughout the day. Eat throughout the day. Protein-rich foods is really important. Right, let's go on to one of my favourite topics, resistance and weight training. Why is that important? And why is that important when you get over 40? It is, you know. So it is important for a number of reasons, but the main ones is to do with your muscles and your bones. So as we get older, we don't keep the muscles that we had when we were younger. When we're younger, it's a lot easier to put muscle on. It's a lot easier to stay healthier. But as we get older, our muscle can start to deteriorate. And by the time we're 60, a lot of people's muscle is deteriorated by as much as 30% or even more, which is a major problem in terms of health. So weight training alongside having the right amounts of protein is key to reducing the effect of this, reduce the effect that aging has on your muscles. So, and weight training does this better than any other exercise because you're putting your muscle under strain, you're tearing the muscles more so than most of the sort of exercises or sports. And then if you're giving your muscles the adequate protein, they will recover. And again, it's not all about big muscles. They can be leaner, they can stronger, they can be recovering better because you're working them and you're giving them protein. So muscle strength is really, really important as we get into our 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s. And I've been in gyms for 30 years, and I see people I've seen people in their 80s and even 90s, but definitely 80s, lifting some incredible weights. And I've no such issue with muscle deterioration. I've just realised I put detonation. You don't want your muscles to detonate, that's for sure. But yeah, muscle deterioration. So people, and they've consistently trained through the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and they have no problem in terms of the bone strength and muscle because of this consistency. So if you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s now and you think, it's too late, I'm too old to do weight training. No, do it. Start. We don't just jump in and start lifting ridiculous weights. You want to start at the right position. If you're a beginner, start at the beginning, light weights, build up. But doing this is powerful for your health and longevity. Trust me, it really is. And then bone density. Weight training strengthens the bones. And again, as we get older, it's likely that our bones get more brittle, and worst case scenario, we'll get things like osteoporosis, which is something we do not want. So by weight training and again giving our body the right nutrition, the right protein, we will strengthen our bones. And obviously calcium, things like that, people are usually aware that teeth and bones require some calcium. But again, protein and working the body out, the muscles out, will strengthen and build the bone density. So weight training, really important. It's not something you have to do and do nothing else. If you like running, do some running alongside it. If you like doing HIIT or circuits or cycling or any sports or whatever, do them, great, but put some weight training in alongside it. And that might just be a couple of sessions a week alongside whatever else you're doing, or you might want to go on and say, right, weight training is my main thing. I'm going to do it 3-4 times a week. If you're in a gym, yes, there's gyms are set up for weight training. There's machines, there's free weights, there's lots of stuff that you can do. But if you can't get to the gym, that's not an excuse not to weight train. There's very cheap, low-cost equipment you can get to have at home that you can use. The best, in my opinion, for being low cost, being you can take them anywhere and they don't take up any room, is resistance bands. I always tell people you can probably do 30 or 40% of what you can do in a gym with one 15-pound set of resistance bands, because you can put them over door handles, above, below, and you've suddenly got a pulley. There's all sorts you can do. So resistance bands, then obviously people might want to get dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells. They want to take it further. There's lots of great multi-gyms you can get if you've got the space. So weight training doesn't have to just be in the gym. Likewise, you might say, in my house, I'm not having all that junk in it. You can do body weight training, and that can be push-ups, squats, mountain climbers, bench dips on your settee. There's so many things, squat thrusts. There's loads of stuff where you can work the muscle, put it under resistance with your own body weight. And so there's no excuse really. And weight training, like I say, if you're over 40, if you're stressed, if you're busy, there's no excuse. And if you can get a 20-minute home workout in 3 times a week, you're going to be making progress. Trust me, if you're doing nothing now and you can do that, that's what you want to be doing. Like I say, if you love running, if you've got different sporting hobbies, or you like doing different exercises, but you're not doing any weight training, please add it in. It is important, because it is, like I said, the best way to build muscle, to increase bone density. It's a great way to lose fat. It covers all the things, and trust me, a lot of people will see these marathon runners or extreme athletes and say, oh, they just do the miles, that's all they do. No, they will do the miles, but they will also do a big element of strength and resistance training. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for you. So resistance training and weight training, get it in. And now let's wrap this up. So where would you start? Where would you start if you literally, like I say, over 40, you're stressed, you're busy, and you're at the moment, you're not really doing much in terms of looking at your nutrition, and you're not doing much in terms of exercise other than maybe running around the office or whatever. What would be the first steps to do? Well, I'm going to tell you. So first of all, set yourself some goals. If you don't have a goal, it's easy to go off track. So just set yourself, like say, a realistic goal, and you could use the SMART way to do it, which is specific, measurable, attainable. I don't remember the rest. My mind's gone. You could use that, or you could just say, right, I'm going to start off doing this 2 times a week for 30 minutes. I'm going to start off by getting this much protein. I'm going to start off by this. Write it down, put it in your phone, whatever. Setting a goal is powerful. And like I said, though, make it realistic. That was the R I was looking for. SMART, realistic. Don't say, if you go from doing nothing in terms of exercise, to suddenly say, right, I'm going to go join this fancy new gym and I'm going to go 6 times a week for an hour. The likelihood of you still doing that after 2-3 months is between slim and none, and slim does left town. So be realistic, and so take into account your workload, take into account things that challenges that might come up, and then set something and say, right, that's what I'm going to commit to. And once you commit to it, do commit to it. Don't say, I'm going to try, I'm going to think, I do it. Yes, sometimes things come up that mean you can't, but don't set yourself up to fail by saying, I'm going to try and work out tomorrow. I'm going to try and work out on Thursday. No, you're doing it. You don't try to go and have a shower. You don't try to go to a doctor's appointment. You don't try to get to work. You don't try to get to a meeting. You do it. So once you determine your goal, set it and schedule it in. And again, having milestones along the way. So your end goal might be, right, I want to do a 10K, or I want to get down to a certain body fat percentage or whatever at a certain time. But that might be quite a way in the future. So putting in milestones in between that time are helpful. And you might set yourself a reward once you hit these milestones. Ideally, the reward wouldn't be food or alcohol related if possible. It could be a new clothing, a trip away, I don't know. But ideally, it would be something that excites you. But putting in, like I say, a milestone a few weeks in or a month in and then 2 months in is another powerful tool to set, rather than looking at, oh, I'm so far away from that. No, I've hit this first month one and I'm on track, because I know that I'm a long way from where I want to be, but I'm on the way. So milestones are powerful. Water is the one that really is so simple, but so many people seem to struggle with it. Everyone in the Western world has access to water, and I don't mean you have to be going getting bottled water or anything like that. Tap water will do. Drink it. Keep hydrated. You should never really be feeling thirsty. That's the first sign of dehydration. Dehydration in the body causes lots of issues. It causes more risk of injury because the fluid, like synovial fluid that protects our joints, if you're dehydrated, there's less fluid. It will sort of reduce your hunger cravings if you are regularly hydrated rather than being dehydrated. Your mind, everything needs water. Trust me, it needs water. So be hydrated. Try to avoid ever being in a state of dehydration. Really, really try not. And for me, that means having at least 2 litres a day minimum. I'm a bit crazy. I have 6 to 8, and I'm not telling you to do that, but I would say 2 minimum, ideally over 3 litres of water every single day. Again, your size and how active you are can play a part in how much you have, but still, try and, if you're currently drinking a litre and a half, get that up to 2. If you're currently drinking 2, get it to 2.5. If you do 2.5, get it to 3. Keep trying to build that water up, because hydration is a massive, massive part of being healthy, being hydrated. And then finally, listen to your body. You hear a lot of things online, and you know, I'm quite a fan of David Goggins and stuff like this, but if you break your ankle, don't carry on running, and obviously that's the extreme, but do listen to your body. If you are unwell, and I don't just mean a little sniffle, if you're unwell, you shouldn't be working out. If you feel faint and dizzy, it's not about pushing through that. Take the time out, sit down, get your breath back. If that's the end of the session, then it might be, but listen to the body. You want to challenge yourself. Aching after a workout is natural. It should happen, and the more you train, the less that aching will become. But aching and injury are different things. So if you feel something is not right in your body, you stop and you get it checked out. You don't just push through this mentality where some people just say just push through, leads to a lot of problems. And just because they don't show it in the YouTube videos doesn't mean to say that they're not sometimes in A&E or whatever. So listen to your body, and be aware as well of overtraining, and probably not, given what this event, the demographic this event is aimed at. Busy people, a bit stressed, over 40, might not be, but overtraining can be an issue. And I speak to people and they train 7 days a week, and I get why that is. I train 6 days, but from a mindset perspective, but please remember, the body needs rest and recovery. The muscles need rest and recovery. Rest and recovery is key. So listen to your body. And if you are really, really fatigued, the best thing is not to just push through and drink. Your body sometimes needs rest. So listen to the body. And that's it really for now. Like I say, I've not gone into it in too much depth, but I think I've given you some real good fundamentals on how to get started. If you're currently, like I say, if you're currently really busy, stressed, you've not got paid any attention really to your nutrition, you're not really doing any form of exercise, and you're over 40, there's some stuff to do that I've mentioned, and I think you can put these in. So, do you think you can? I think we're going to have a thumbs up, aren't we? But if you don't, give me a thumbs down and just let me know. I'd love to see that in the comments, whether you think you can put it into play or if you don't think you can. I want to hear either way. And finally, have you got any questions for me? I'm here. Send over your questions. DM me your questions, anything to do with health or fitness. Don't ask me about the universe, all that stuff. I'm not really that up on stuff like that. But health and fitness and nutrition, I know it. I know it in absolute detail. Any questions you have, DM me, send it in the comments below this, or even if you want to email me, ian@gymworldpt.com. So, enough of me rambling. That's it for today. I'm grateful you've took the time to come to my event. I'm grateful you've listened, and I hope you found it beneficial. So, have a great day.